All right, away we go here on a Monday, NFL Overreaction Monday. Harrison Graham, welcome into Chicago Bears. Now you got me, you got Rolly. We're ready to rock. We're ready to roll, even if the Chicago Bears are not on a weekly basis. We are. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in to the show. Shout out to everybody who's already voted on our live poll, who's been chopping it up in the live chat, getting after it. You guys always bring the heat as I adjust my fan down here. Shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from, as we got you some shout outs coming in just a moment. The first comment that I see, Rolly, Getsy is a bum from Emery Super. Seems fitting.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
In all seriousness, that game plan, when you really think about it, and this is not to like shield Justin Fields. I did not think he played good yesterday before the injury. You're playing the blitz heaviest team in the NFL, and on the first play, you run empty and don't have enough blockers. Like, it's just like, it's mind blowing, and it continued. There was no adjustment. Incredible. Davey in Lafayette, Indiana. You got Donald in South Bend, Indiana. Sports Bears God, New Braunfels, Texas. Home of Schlitterbahn. Edward says, why is Getsy still employed? Orlando says, Lansing, Michigan. We got G. Willie. Is Getsy still being paid by Green Bay? Ryder in Henderson, Kentucky. Bear Down in H-Town. What's up, man? We got Milton in Laredo, Texas. Joey in Greenwood, Indiana. We got Ellis in Marshall, Illinois. Getsy was sent from Green Bay to destroy us. We've talked about the Getsy conspiracy theories before. I just don't think he's good enough. That's my take. But we've been over the reasons why it makes no sense for him to intentionally infiltrate the Bears. But I do love the passion. Yes. Sam,
our good friend
Lock
Sam.
Tara. No hashtag Team Rolly, huh? For the last time, he says, fire this atrocious coaching staff. Get Fields, Marvin Harrison, and Olu Fashanu. The problem isn't Fields. Christ. I don't think you can say he's blameless because it has been inconsistent. But I do believe that if this heads where I think it is, and that probably means them drafting a quarterback and trading Fields, which I hate to say it, but I just think that's where it's likely going to end up. I do think, and I did not feel this way about Mitch when it ended for him in Chicago, I do think Justin Fields can go be a pretty good starter somewhere else with adequate coaching.
More Mitch Trubisky hate.
It's nothing against Mitch. I don't think the Bears did him any favors either, but Justin Fields' highs are NFL franchise stuff. I never felt that way with Trubisky watching him play. But it's just too inconsistent. I don't think the coaching staff is doing him any favors. And whether we want to or not, whether it's fair or not, I just don't think that, they're going to fire the coaching staff and give Fields a chance with the third staff. I just don't. If I had to predict, I don't think that will happen. Brian with the 20. Brian bringing the heat. Feel sorry for Justin Fields. He was dealt a bad hand, but I think Bears and Fields would be better off divorcing. Do not have time to really evaluate him, and rookie contract running out. Coaching is atrocious. It's kind of how I feel. It's like, and I wish, here's what really, as much as the Getsy and Flus direction has not helped him, what hurts even more is that you let the prior regime was allowed to draft him, and then when they obviously were going to get fired after that year. So Fields' rookie year was a complete waste. Like that's the unfortunate reality of all of it. So to Brian's point, it's year 4 next year, and then you got to make a decision if you're going to pay him or not. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right, but I think it's reality is what it is. I don't think the door's completely shut on Fields here, but with the injury now, you feel like that door could be shutting again, whether it is fair or whether it is not. Life isn't always fair, but sometimes it can be tasty, and with Factor meals, that is what you're going to get. The #1 ready-to-eat meal kit in America is Factor, and what they do is they deliver delicious meals of your choice that are chef-prepared, cooked to perfection, straight to your doorstep. and all you got to do is spend a couple of minutes to throw it in the microwave or prepare it, and you are good to go. Let's be honest. Cooking, yeah, home-cooked meals, they're good. They take a while as well. Sometimes we don't have time for that, especially during football season. That's where Factor comes into play. You're going to think it's a home-cooked meal because it's delicious ingredients, delicious meals. Rolly and I love the loaded bacon shredded chicken. It's a personal favorite of both of ours, but they've got tons of different meal options, breakfast, lunch, dinner for you to choose from. So go check out Factor right now. It's factormeals.com/BearsChat50. Go dive in and take a look at their different meal options. And once you settle on what you want, place an order, and they're going to deliver it straight to you right away. And then you don't have to spend countless hours at the grocery store, in the kitchen. You can just prepare your meals. Not even prepare. They're already prepared. Just throw them in the microwave. Takes a couple minutes. Fresh ingredients. You're good to go. Factormeals.com/BearsChat50. Code BearsChat50 gets you 50% off. That link's in the live chat. Go check them out today. DC, you notice Flus defended Bagent more aggressively in the postgame presser than he ever did Fields. What was that about? I think a couple things. One, Matt Eberflus is the worst coach when it comes to dealing with the media. Seriously. He is clueless. And I'm going to rip Matt Eberflus later on in the live show. I've just got a rant when it comes to him. He's just not head coach material. I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't know what to make about that, DC. But yeah, it's all very strange. It's all very strange. Is the Justin Fields era over? And what I mean by that, is it a new quarterback next year? I think he'll probably play it this year at some point again. Why for yes and for no, but big picture, is it over? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. And this kind of relates to the live poll question, too. Who will be the Bears' 2024 starting quarterback, Fields or someone else? 56% saying someone else. I think I'd have to agree if I'm guessing. Just based on what we just said, timeline, injury, all of it, I just think resetting is probably going to be the most likely outcome. Scott says yes. A. Dominguez says yes. Kevin, yes. Rolly, you trying to chime in here? You reaching over for the microphone over there?
I was just making sure I'm unclicked.
Okay, we can go to your boy Lochte here. Hashtag T-Rolly. I know why you're ready to talk.
I was ready to talk.
All right, let's get to the hypothetical of the week. Hashtag Team Rolly or hashtag, I don't know what the difference is. They look the same.
There is no difference.
Personally, for me, I see. Hashtag Team Rolly. Give me your thought. Oh, so this is the hypothetical. I'm going option 2.
Team Rolly, yeah.
Which is Team Rolly, not option 1. Lochte, you're the best. I'm guessing you just couldn't think of a hypothetical this week.
No. That's a good hypothetical.
It is a good hypothetical.
It's one you don't even have to think of because you should always be Team Rolly.
I'll tell you guys, yes, you should be Team Rolly. And 2, Rolly's jacked up today because the college basketball AP Top 25 came out. Rolly is a college hoops junkie. So maybe later in the football season when the Bears are 1-10, we can sneak in some college hoops talk to help fill some time.
Oh, my God, look who it is.
This is a tough scene.
Michael!
Oh, Michael, you're here. Michael, you won the jersey. I don't know if you tried to hit me up on social media. Michael Rovensek, you're the winner. So, Michael, here's what you do. If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, either one, at HGramNFL. And we'll get you taken care of, man. IG and Facebook. Okay, we got you, man. I checked my Twitter DMs before the show. I did not check Instagram, so I will get to Instagram tonight, and we'll get you taken care of.
Both links in the chat. So, Michael,
I'm glad he's back because I was a little concerned.
Yeah,
I was a little concerned.
Yeah,
Beans, the comedian, says he's never been shouted out. Well, now you have. All right, Michael. Good stuff. Congrats again.
Thanks, Josh.
Poor Matt Hepler, but at least he won the race. Right? The re-race?
That's why I knew we should have done another one. Got a guy man's hopes up for nothing.
Hey, it's always fun to see what were those things? The Greyhounds race?
The Dinos.
Oh, the Dinos. The Greyhounds were electric.
Yeah, we should have done that
for the Butkus jersey.
Yeah.
Man, are the Astros going to flame out here? Orlando, first-time super. I just think back to draft night when they showed Justin Fields. He looked so disappointed coming to Chicago. Really concerned whoever we draft next. Yeah, that's kind of been debunked, though. He was kind of just frustrated that he fell in the draft, which understandably so. I think he was the second best QB in that draft, and I still think it's probably played out that way. I mean, you could make the argument Mac Jones because he had a good rookie year, but I think currently if you would rank them, it would go Lawrence 1 and then Fields 2. Now it's a pretty wide gap there.
No one else has been a Pro Bowler.
Say what?
I didn't see anybody else besides Trevor Lawrence be a Pro Bowler. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. If you would take Fields over Mac today.
Ah.
Rolly, stop. Dude, you literally last week were like, Mac stinks, he's done.
Yeah, but at least I know that he stinks, which is why I might rather have him.
That makes no sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay, answer me this.
What
Mac Jones in a different situation, Justin Fields in a different situation. Who does better? I think it's Fields.
Different situation.
Than they're currently in.
The Bears have a better system in place for their quarterback than Mac Jones, and I'm not kidding about that.
Wow.
You guys have a better wide receiver
Well,
core.
the results have also been significantly better for Fields this year.
You guys have a better wide receiver core and a better offensive line. The only thing
the O-line's pretty bad, but yeah, so is the Patriots.
The Patriots are literally bottom 3 O-line.
Yeah, bottom 3 versus bottom 5 probably.
I mean, Fields has a better situation on offense. I'm being dead serious.
Getsy's pretty brutal, man.
I mean, I don't think Bill O'Brien and Matt Patricia are any better.
Well, yeah, Matt. I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about right now. Yeah. I'm not saying either are franchise guys. I'm just saying I think if you polled GMs, who would they rather have? I think.
But all I'm saying is that I'd actually rather have Mac Jones because I know he stinks rather than Justin Fields. We still don't know.
So you'd rather have the guy you know who stinks?
Because now I know I have to move on.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. You're not stuck in limbo.
Right. I know with Mac Jones, not him.
I hear you. I see what you're saying. I didn't get where you were going for a while, but now I do. Are you guys excited to watch Bajent? Type me if you are. I mean, look, let me be clear. I'd still rather watch Fields. But it's better than watching Nathan Peterman or what we saw last year, which was the Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, Nathan Peterman show for a game or two. I'm not like amped to watch Bajent, but there's at least something worth evaluating here. Like Peterman could throw for 400 a week and it means nothing. Like he's not your future. I don't think Bajent's your future, but he could be your future backup. So Brandon says me, Robert says me, Clint says me. What's best case scenario for Bajent here, Rolly? Like best case scenario. Because like to me, the Purdy situation is not on the table. Like you just don't have enough around you, and like that seems just.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like Gardner Minshew.
I think best case scenario, you found a backup, right? Like
best
a quality
case scenario,
backup.
He's Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. Which would be a win.
Yeah.
Minshew's a good backup. Ancient Astronaut, just mid Fields. What is just mid? Like he's just mid? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Just mid.
Yeah, I mean his highs are very high, his lows are low. He's too inconsistent. He's too inconsistent. Is there a realistic chance Bears would keep Fields for the remainder of his rookie contract and take Caleb Williams? I just don't see that scenario, Rolly. Like to me, if you're drafting a QB 1 or 2, you're trading Fields. Like you don't want to create that environment.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I don't think it's fair to Fields, and I don't think it's a good idea for the rookie either.
It's similar, but not similar, like of the Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo situation. It's a little bit different because Jimmy G was on like a kind of semi-big contract.
Yeah, and Jimmy G was at least kind of in that veteran category. I would not put Fields in that. If your quarterback was like Derek Carr or Andy Dalton or like this scenario is when you had Dalton in 21, kind of. Or it's kind of like when the Bears paid Mike Glennon for some reason and then drafted Trubisky.
Mike Glennon.
The QBs that have come through this franchise are it's something. Eddie Padilla, do you think Justin has a shot at saving his job, especially if he's out multiple weeks? It's hard to know with how long he's out. Let's say he's out 2 games, Okay, 2 games. He plays the rest of the season. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be longer, but I don't know. I mean, if he plays awesome 8 of the final 10 games, could the narrative change? Maybe. But 6 games in, we've seen 2 really good games. It's just not often enough. I think Getsy's a problem. I think the O-line was bad yesterday, but, like, it's just got to be more consistent, man. Like, at some point, Fields has got to play better. Fair or not. So, I owe 10? 2 first-timers?
10 jumps.
2, 3, 4. Did you spell jump with the G a second ago?
No.
8, 9. I thought you said 10 Gs.
Maybe I did.
Timothy, I want Fields to be the guy with the current situation and inconsistent play. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I want Fields to be the guy. A, because I like the dude. I think he has great work ethic. I see the potential. And B, it's better for the Bears if they can keep building this roster. But the reality is you're running out of time. Like, he's going to be a 4th-year guy next year. He has been inconsistent. And if I'm just giving my analysis of what I think is most likely, I think they're going to draft a quarterback. Like, it may not be what the best situation is, the one that, like, is the most preferred, but I do think it's the most likely. I think that's well put, Timothy. TJ.
Scott in the chat, that is why, by the way.
Drake Maye. We're going to talk Drake Maye today.
That it is, listen.
Drake Maye is much better than Mitch.
Nobody feels that way in the national media, but if you only look at the Chicago Bears Now chat, that is the exact reason.
Yeah. And look, if you're Ryan Poles, you can't, like, first of all, Poles was not here when they drafted Mitch, so you shouldn't even care about that. Number 2, you just can't operate that way as a GM or as a scout. It does not matter.
If you're like scared to draft a quarterback because you missed on a quarterback from that same school 7 years ago,
you should not be working in this field.
You should not be working at all. I don't
unemployed.
I think you have a mental problem.
All right, if you're ready for the show to start, hit that like button. Let's go. What do we got to get to, Rolly? 125 likes?
I say 125 is a good number.
125. Hit the like button. Let's go. I don't even know what Wasim means by this super chat.
I don't know, but
we can find out. Eddie.
Coach JB. Yes.
Did y'all see Coach
friend of
JB's
Chat Sports
headline today? Did you see it today? Coach Prime is losing the locker room.
Make sure you guys continue to like that button, though. We're at 100 likes, 25 more, and we can get started with today's show.
Let's go. Hit the like button. Wasim, Rolly put the whammy on Fields yesterday. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't even know what I did.
The whammy. I don't even know what you mean by you put the whammy. Oh, did the Astros get another run? Okay. 5-2.
Bregman, little homer.
Hit the like button. Let's go. Hit the like button. Here's what's coming up live on Chicago Bears Now. We're going to take a look at the Bears 2024 QB outlook, including Justin Fields. I don't think that scenario is completely dead, so we're going to look at all of that. We'll take all your questions. If you super chat, guaranteed to get on the show. We'll also take some hashtag Bears questions as well. And Matt Eberflus is not an NFL head coach. I mean, he literally is. He has a job of being a head coach, but he shouldn't. He is unqualified, and I will explain why. I got a big rant to get to when it comes to Matt Eberflus. Here we go. Bears Now by Chat Sports coming up here for the next hour or so. Let's get it. The Chicago Bears 2024 quarterback outlook is really getting interesting, and rumors are starting to heat up. So let's dive into it here. My name is Harrison Graham. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. With Justin Fields' latest injury, even though it's unclear how much time he's going to miss as of filming this video, you got to think the Bears are starting to think about 2024 and what that position looks like, especially if you're general manager Ryan Poles. Let's just look at the early evaluation this year, because to me, this year was more than anything else about evaluating Justin Fields. Week 1 against the Packers, didn't play well. Week 2 against the Bucs, did not play well. I don't think he was horrible in Week 3, but he certainly wasn't good. The whole team was just really bad in that game. Week 4 against the Broncos, very good. Week 5 at the Commanders, missed a couple throws, but pretty damn good as well. Week 6 against the Vikings, I thought the game plan was horrific from Luke Getsy, but at the end of the day, I thought it was a step backwards. It wasn't very good from Justin Fields. Then he got injured in the third quarter. So where we sit now is, even if you want to throw the Vikings game as incomplete because it wasn't a full game, you're talking about 2 good games out of 5.5, like 2 out of 6. It's not good enough. It's too inconsistent's the word. He is an inconsistent player right now. His highs are, you can win with this guy. He is a franchise quarterback. I truly believe that. His lows are, dude, why aren't you throwing the football? You're not seeing the field. Something's off. I don't get it. It's too up and down. And so if you're Ryan Poles, even if you're looking at this and like, man, I don't think Luke Getsy's the right coach for him. I don't think Matt Eberflus, I don't think I chose the right coach. The bottom line is Fields is entering year 4 next year. Even if he is still under consideration for being the starting quarterback, you got to consider all options right now if you're Ryan Poles. And there's no doubt in my mind he's doing just that. And the reason you really got to do that is because look at where you sit right now. You've got the top 2 picks in the 2024 NFL Draft. Shout out to Carolina for being terrible. You've got their pick, which is number 1. You've got your own pick, which is number 2. And you've got the tiebreaker over Denver, Arizona, New York, and New England due to strength of schedule. We're still a long ways to go to say you're going to have the top 2 picks, but there's a real good chance you're going to get that top pick at this point. Like, it's very much on the table. So everything is on the table, including Justin Fields still being the guy potentially if certain things bounce a certain way. If you had to guess right now, who is the Bears' 2024 starting quarterback? Type JF for Justin Fields. Type O for other. If you think it's going to be someone else, get your votes in. Pen comment on today's show, Fields or someone else when it comes to the Bears' 2024 quarterback. All right, let's start looking at some other options. And producer Rolly told me he was going to be a troll when it came to graphic and photo choice here. Caleb Williams, who did get crushed by Notre Dame this past weekend. And let me just preclude this with that. Yes, I know he was bad against Notre Dame. It's, I don't think it erases everything he's done. But, yeah, it wasn't a great showing. And that happens. But at the same time, I think there were some things you could probably look at and be like, okay, like he's certainly not a perfect prospect. There's no doubt about that. You look at the numbers against the Fighting Irish. There's no doubt this is the worst game of his collegiate career. 23 of 37, just under 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, -8 rushing yards. The blitz really got to him. Before that game, when teams blitzed him, he was carving them up. Not against Notre Dame. They blitzed a lot, and it was very effective in doing so. Now, if you look at the 3 years, 2.5 years, I guess you could say, of evidence based on what he's done up to this point, he's still a very, very good prospect. He was really good in the second half of 21 at Oklahoma. He won the Heisman Trophy last year for USC, and this year he's still having a great season overall as well. His track record is there. He's played a lot of football. He's played a lot of good football. He's won a lot of games. And quite frankly, he's covered up for some clear weaknesses on that USC team the last year and a half. The defense sucks, and the O-line play has been suspect. That's just the reality of that situation. So I'm still a Caleb Williams guy. I don't think he's a perfect prospect, but I would not be scared to draft him if I was an NFL franchise. Now we're going to take a look at some other quarterbacks that the Bears could consider next year, but something that you guys shouldn't just consider, you should flat out get started with, is Factor. America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit has you covered with quick, chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your doorstep. Adjust your stride this autumn without missing a step. Choose from our 34-plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never-frozen meals, ready to eat in 2 minutes or less. Maybe you need an extra boost to support your wellness goals and feel your best as you tackle a busy fall. Try Protein Plus meals from Factor with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. Factor also has Calorie Smart meals with or around less than 550 calories per serving. Tons of different options depending on what your diet is right now. And more than anything else, it's quick, it's convenient, and we got an awesome deal for you guys. 50% off when you go to factormeals.com/Bears. BearsChat50. Use code BearsChat50 at checkout to get 50% off. One more time, that is code BearsChat50 at factormeals.com/BearsChat50. Get 50% off and get started today with Factor. Yes, clean pocket there from Drake Maye as the trolling continues for producer Nick Roloff, a.k.a. Rolly. Listen, if you were evaluating this quarterback class on this past weekend alone, Drake Maye would be QB1. There is no doubt about that. He absolutely lit up the Miami Hurricanes this weekend. 17 of 33. The completion percentage wasn't great, but a lot of chunk plays. 273, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Just rushed for 10 yards, but he's a guy who's been a quality runner in college as well. He was terrific, and I think the last 2 weeks he's played his best ball of the season after, I don't want to say an up and down start, but an uneven start to the season. The last couple weeks he's really dialed it in and played some good football, and now if you look at the past or at the season as a whole between Drake Maye and Caleb Williams, it certainly tightened up a bit. Now, Caleb Williams has more volume when it comes to touchdown passes, but the last few weeks, I think Drake Maye has actually trended in a better direction than Caleb Williams. So that's certainly interesting. Both are accurate. Both can make all the throws. I think Drake Maye's probably a little bit better in the pocket. I think Caleb Williams is better off script out of the pocket, but both can do the opposite as well. Both can run. They're quality runners, but they use their feet to keep their eyes downfield and throw typically, which I really like as well. The question is, can Drake Maye close the gap for the number 1 pick, or is it a foregone conclusion that Caleb Williams is going to go number 1 overall? If I was a betting man, I would still say Caleb Williams goes number 1, but I don't think there's just no chance for Drake Maye. And don't take my word for it. How about Dane Brugler? He is, to me, the standard for draft analysis and coverage and information on an annual basis of The Athletic. I love his work. And he said this before this past weekend, by the way. He said it's always been a 1A, 1B type of situation in my eyes with Drake Maye and Caleb Williams. The gap is razor thin. 2024 NFL Draft is the Caleb and Drake Maye sweepstakes. And again, this was prior to this weekend where Caleb Williams really struggled and Drake Maye lit it up. Now again, I don't think teams draft players based on one game alone. Like, I will take the other 25 starts or whatever it is of Caleb Williams with more value than one bad start in a raucous environment at Notre Dame. I will say this, though. Ryan Poles attended that game at Notre Dame this weekend. How much weight does that carry for him when doing his evaluations if he does decide to draft a quarterback? So it's all very interesting. I think both these guys have a chance to be really good pros. We know this. It's the NFL draft. It's quarterbacks. There's no guarantee, but it's a clear top 2. There's no doubt about that. Now, pick your poison. Who would you rather have here if you're drafting a quarterback? If you're the Bears, if you're moving on from Fields, if you'd rather have Fields, that's fine. I'm saying out of these 2 guys, who would you rather have? If you'd rather have Caleb Williams type CW, or if you'd rather have Drake Maye type DM, both are really, really good prospects. Let me know in the comments section. Now, let me throw an out there idea. Out there, just throw it out there. We're going to lob a ball downfield and throw a YOLO ball downfield, kind of like Bajent on that last throw this past week. We're just going to take a chance. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. If the Bears get the top 2 picks, I think this is the only scenario where this works, and currently they do have the top 2 picks. If Ryan Poles likes both Caleb Williams and Drake Maye, could he trade the number 1 pick, which you would get more for than the number 2 pick, and then draft Maye with the number 2 pick, assuming the team you trade takes Caleb Williams number 1? Could you do that? Like, are you willing to do that? I think the only way you would do that is if, A, you do like Drake Maye more than Caleb Williams, or B, you think it's close enough that you're comfortable with both and you just want to get as much capital back as possible for the top selection. I don't know if I would do that personally, but it's an interesting idea. Again, it's an out there idea. Just wanted to throw that possibility on the table. And again, it only happens if the Bears do land the top 2 picks in the draft. Round of applause to our subscribers here at Chicago Bears Now. We recently crossed 77,000 subscribers. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Continue to help us grow as we provide daily Bears content for free here on this channel. You subscribing, liking the videos, keeping the comment section rolling. That's what allows us to keep doing more and more. So we greatly appreciate it. Hit that sub button today for more videos. All right, let's take a look at Michael Penix Jr., the Washington quarterback who delivered a big-time win against the Oregon Ducks over the weekend, and I was impressed. It was gutsy. The stat line wasn't awesome. He struggled against pressure a bit in that game, but he was also dealing with an injury to his midsection. I don't know if he had cracked ribs or something, but he was holding his kind of waist area for over a quarter in the second half. But he kept battling, kept playing, and found a way to lead a late drive after Washington got a crucial fourth down stop. And you look at the raw numbers, it's impressive stuff, man. 72%, 2,300 yards, 20-3 touchdown interception ratio. His QBR out of 100 is 91.7. He's arguably the best deep ball thrower in this draft. I actually think he's a better deep ball thrower than Caleb Williams. I think that's one area Caleb Williams really needs to work on is the vertical passing. But Michael Penix is very accurate down the field. Now, the primary cons he has is he's older, 6-year college player. He does have an injury history, multiple leg injuries at Indiana. Now, he's been able to stay healthy at Washington for the most part. Again, I know he's banged up in that game over the weekend, but he was able to play and play well. But I think for the most part, he's a pretty damn good prospect. Now, he's playing with NFL receivers. Is that offense gimmicky a little bit? Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's full Tennessee from last year, but they run a lot of vertical shots outside the numbers with those wide hashes. So his pre-draft workouts, I think, will be important. But I'm intrigued. I don't think he's a guy you take in the top 2 or 3, but mid-first round in some kind of weird trade-down scenario, maybe. But that's kind of where I'm at with Michael Penix. I probably like Shedeur Sanders more than Michael Penix, and again, I'm not necessarily ranking these, but I'm talking about him a little bit later than Penix because I just don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to come out. I think he's going to go back to school. You look at his numbers this year, he's been very good behind a brutal offensive line. 72% completion, really good touchdown interception. He's battling while getting cracked every single week. I just think he's going to stay another year. His best friend, Travis Hunter, is not eligible to come out in the draft, so I think they're going to play another year at Colorado and maybe try to be the top 2 picks in the draft in the following year in 2025. So that could certainly change. To me, he would be a first-round pick if he came out, but I think he's going to go back and maybe try to be the number 1 pick in 2025. J.J. McCarthy might be in the same realm, by the way. He could come out. He could go back. If he wants to be a higher pick in the following year, we'll have to wait and see. But J.J. McCarthy, statistically, I think the word to use here is efficient. I mean, 78%, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks, mobile as well. He's rushed in 3 touchdowns. And I think this statistic really stood out to me. Now, there is a grain of salt that we'll get to here in a second, but this from Dane Brugler again here. Percentage of third down passes that have resulted in a first down. J.J. McCarthy, 73%. Next highest is Drake Maye at 52%. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Quinn Ewers, Bo Nix, Shedeur Sanders. Said, good note at the end, by the way. It'll be interesting to see where things sit at the end of the season. Now, the grain of salt when it comes to J.J. McCarthy is Michigan has played nobody. Like, it's literally one of the easiest schedules in the country up to this point. So I think we need to see him play. Obviously, Ohio State later in the year. Penn State, a couple more Big Ten opponents as well. College football playoff. Remember last year in the playoff, he threw 2 critical pick sixes against TCU in the CFP semis, which cost the Michigan Wolverines a chance to go to a national championship. So I want to see him in high-pressure situations, but he has definitely grown as a passer. He's been very accurate this year. I'm definitely intrigued by where J.J. McCarthy is going. Now, who is your favorite QB prospect in next year's draft after Caleb Williams and after Drake Maye? Is it McCarthy? Is it a guy like Quinn Ewers, who we haven't talked about? Is it Michael Penix, Shedeur Sanders? If you had to pick somebody after Caleb Williams and Drake Maye, who would that player be? Quick rapid fire guys beyond those 5 who I would have as my top 5. Quinn Ewers is in that discussion, but he's a little inconsistent for me. I think he could benefit from another year of college. I wonder if he'll consider that. Jaden Daniels has been rising up boards. I think he's going to be a day 2 guy, dual threat guy. He's played really well for LSU. Bo Nix, I think, is a day 2 guy as well. He played well against Washington, just couldn't quite pull out that W. Riley Leonard hasn't played that great this year for Duke, but some people are pretty high on him. He's got the size, he's got the arm. Michael Pratt, Tulane, sleeper. Keep an eye on him. Jordan Travis, late day 2, early day 3. Spencer Rattler, kind of same realm. He's had a good season, but older prospect as well. There's some concerns there. Sam Hartman of Notre Dame, I think for day 3, there's some value. Joe Milton, crazy physical tools, but very inconsistent. Same with Cam Ward. A lot of these guys are not guys that, to me, you're like, hey, trade Fields, I'm going to hand the keys to the franchise to one of these players right away. That's not really where I'm looking at. That's the Drake Maye. That's the Caleb Williams realm. If you decide to move on, you're getting one of those guys. Free agents, if you do want to go with like a bridge option, like I'll tell you what, if you do keep Justin Fields, I wouldn't mind a Ryan Tannehill type as a backup. I think a lot of that depends on how Tyson Bagent looks the rest of the season. Kirk Cousins, I don't think I'm going that route in terms of like, hey, come be our starter for 3 or 4 years. Like, Cousins is solid, but I think we know there's a clear ceiling there. Then Baker Mayfield, I'm not really that interested if I'm being honest. So, to me, if you're the starting QB next year is either Justin Fields or a draft pick. That's how I look at it. And probably it's either Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, or Drake Maye. I would be actually pretty surprised if not one of those 3 players was your week 1 starter next year. I guess the ultimate wild card is if Tyson Bagent goes on a Brock Purdy type of run here. But I don't think any of us think that level of play is happening. So it's going to be fascinating, going to be interesting. I hope Fields gets back soon. I want to evaluate him more, but this latest injury certainly throws a wrench into things, which is why, if you're the Bears, you got to be looking ahead to 2024 at least a little bit. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe for more videos. All right. DC with the super. If you trade Fields because we have the number 1 overall pick, what is best offer you think we can get for Fields considering teams know we want to trade?
If he comes back in balls, I could see you still getting a first.
But let's say he plays 8 games the rest of the season and 6 of them look like weeks 4 and 5. I think you could get a first, at least a second. Trey Lance got a 4th and he's basically never played.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? You're getting a day 2 pick. The teams are going to look at that and be like, yeah, it's been inconsistent, but there will be offensive minds that are like, I can get the most out of this kid. They're not doing it right in Chicago.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you'll get a first, based on everything we've seen up to this point, but I'm pretty confident you're getting a day 2 pick at least. Now, the question would be is, if he's involved in a trade that involves one of your top picks too, for some reason, what if a team wants to trade for Fields and the number 2 pick so they can also draft Marvin Harrison? What does that trade look like? I assume it would be a monster trade, but because to me, you can't go the Carolina route if you're Carolina trading for the number 1 pick to draft Bryce Young, but to dump DJ Moore to do so. It's just insane. When you really think about it. It's just insane. So, the Ghost of Judah. Oh, that's a big moment here in this game.
Man. Dude, bases loaded, no outs, and he's gone back-to-back strikeouts.
Man. Bregman's about to send one into the Crawford boxes. I'm calling it.
He hit a homer his last at-bat.
Ghost of Judah Tribe says, Team Bagent, Bear Civil War, Bustin' is finished. Bears Civil War. I don't know where you're going with that.
He's just talking Bagent versus Fields. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no. He's going to get out of it.
Bases loaded, no outs, and the Rangers got out of it. Wow. That's incredible. Feels like it's not going to be the Astros' year. Wasim says, Rolly said, what if Fields sucks after Caleb sucked? The Bears. You did
I
say
did say
that
before the game.
You did. You absolutely said that. And I said, why would you put that into the universe? And not only was he not good, he got injured. I'm blaming you,
I don't
want
to put anything into the air.
Face the music and get on screen. I'm blaming you.
I don't want to put anything in the air, but what if he stinks after Caleb Williams?
You're absolutely right, Wasim. He's just pushing his Drake Maye motives.
Wasim is always right.
Agent Chartreuse. I'm super psyched to watch Bagent underthrow number 2 by 15 yards again. Yeah, look, I'm intrigued to see what Bagent can do, but, I kind of broke down some pros and cons on our video earlier today. The vertical passing game with Bagent, it's just not going to be there. To me, Rolly, this is going to be run and shoot style where, like, you're getting the ball out fast. Like, identify the matchup, take the 5 to 7 yard completions, get to the next play. Like, I think that's what Luke Getsy is probably going to try to do, because I don't think long developed routes downfield is going to be that successful. And the problem with that when you can't throw the ball downfield is, sure, it might look good early, and I could see it now, really. Early on, Bagent's he's going to be like 9 for 10, 9 for 11 in the chat. Oh, Bagent's the answer. And then teams are going to just sit on those short routes, and then where's the adjustment going to be? I hope he can make it. I hope the Bears can make it, but
sketchy,
I'm calling it right now. He will start out hot next week.
You think?
Yeah, because they'll do a quick passing game, and like the Raiders may not know what to expect early, but then they'll adjust because that's what all coaching staffs do except for the Bears, and they won't have a counter adjustment.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Maybe.
You watch. You called it yesterday.
I didn't call
in a negative way.
I did not call it. I just said, could you imagine? There's a difference.
Well, didn't have to imagine. It fucking happened. Eddie Padilla, if the Bears don't get the number 1 pick, do we take Drake Maye 2 and 4? What do you mean by, do you take Maye? Who's 4? I don't know what you mean by that.
If you don't get the number 1. So you say your picks are number 2
and
4.
Like take Maye 2 and then take, Olu or Marvin 4.
That might be the best case scenario for the Bears.
Maybe. I mean, it depends where they're at with Fields. I mean, if you're out on Fields and you get a top 2 pick, you're clearly drafting Williams.
I think best case scenario for the Bears is the Patriots get the number 1 pick. The Bears get number 2 because of the Panthers. And then the Bears.
Why is the Patriots getting the number 1 pick the best case? Just because?
You don't have to ask questions.
AFC team.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Caleb or Drake staying in the NFC. So.
By the way, Bears chestnut checkers losing to the Vikings, crucial for draft pick order. Had the Vikes lost yesterday, they might have shut it down. They're kind of out of the mix for number 1 pick now with 2 wins.
You think with 2 wins
they're not completely out, but they're going to win games. Like they're not going to go 3-14.
Yeah.
They're getting to at least 4 or 5 wins, and there's going to be multiple teams that do not get to 4 wins.
I do see best case scenario though if you move on from Fields and you have picks like 1 and 4, just take an Olu and a quarterback and let's go.
Draft a receiver in the 2nd round. Re-sign Mooney for like a 1 or 2 year deal. Brian, to be honest, coaching was awful. It was bad. But to make it worse, Fields was hesitant. Yep. And for the love of God, what were the snaps? Never seen anything like it. Oh, get ready for my rant on Matt Eberflus and his explanation for changing centers. I mean, you want to talk about a coach who just insults a fan base week in and week out. I mean, it is unbelievable. Stony, Montana. Caleb is a generous 6'1". Bears take May. I'll be curious to see what Williams measures in at the combine.
Drake Maye is 6'4", 6'5". He's got the prototypical NFL build. And
it's not like too big. Like when you get into Osweiler range, it's like it's proven that's like it's too big. Like 6'3" to 6'4", I think is like the ideal size. 6'3" to 6'5".
Like
with mobility.
The comparisons between Drake Maye and Herbert are real, but like their body types are also freaking so similar.
Yeah. Do you think Maye has the same level fastball as Herbert? I don't know if it's that, but 90% of it.
Can I be honest though? The ball doesn't move as fast in college as it does in the NFL.
No, it doesn't.
But what I'm saying TV-wise, it's hard to pick up how fast the ball is.
I just watch Herbert though sometimes rip one over the middle. I'm like, I didn't even see that ball. You could argue his fastball is the fastest in the NFL.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's as fast, but I think the thing that Drake Maye
does... It's a great arm.
Drake Maye does better than anyone else is the off-platform throws, and what I mean by that, he can contort his body, and as he's getting hit, he will still fire.
You think he's better off-platform than Caleb?
Listen...
Or do you mean off-platform in the pocket?
I mean, off-platform is, not getting your feet set.
Yeah.
I think...
Caleb's really good at that, too, to be fair.
But, Drake, if he's running left, oh, wow, that ball's tanked. Stay in the park, though. When Drake moves to his left, he can still absolutely fire it.
Yeah.
Sangray. taking a victory lap.
As the leader of the Boston bandwagon, yesterday was a monumental day. So, Sang-Ray, let me ask you a question, and if our boy Larry Lapper's watching, you can listen too. I feel like when I say this, and I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to accuse, I'm going to ask, would you, because to me, you guys would rather be right about Fields not being the guy than him proving you wrong and the Bears winning. Because I got to be honest, Sang-Ray, you actually showed up one of the weeks. The 2 weeks Fields balled out, I didn't see Larry Lapper. Did you, Rolly?
No.
He's kind of disappeared. So you got to keep that same energy. I think you showed up one of the weeks. So, I just, at the end of the day, don't we all just want the Bears to be good, regardless of who it is? Like, shit, I hope Tyson Bagent is the next Tom Brady. I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope he is. Oh, my God.
This game's got everything.
Yeah.
Chris Lopez, we see your super chat. It's going to actually lead off our mailbag.
All right, we'll get Daniel in there, too. Let's get to the mailbag. Hashtag Bears or super chat to get your questions on the show. Hashtag Bears or super chat. I don't know what voice I'm doing right now. Get your questions in. Locktar. And again, Lochte, like, I'm honestly asking. I hope that's not the case, but it does feel that way. Like, and we see this all the time with sports fandom. People would rather be right about a negative thing than admit they're wrong, even if it benefits their team. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, if it's a take about a team you don't care about, yeah, you ride that take till the end of the earth, believe me. But I don't know. Like, I feel like if Justin Fields proved you all wrong and was a franchise guy and won this team a Super Bowl, you'd still be like, I'm on the Boston train. Like, come on, man. You want him to do good. You should at least. You should at least. All right, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We'll get to those questions here. And then after that, I'm going to get into my rant about Matt Eberflus. Lots to dive into as Chicago Bears Now continues here on a Burping Monday. It is Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham, and guess what? It's mailbag time. Use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Let's go ahead and dive in. From Chris Lopez, if you get offered a first-round pick right now for Justin Fields, are you taking it? Well, the brutal part is with him being injured, he's untradeable right now. God, it's a tough question to answer. Probably yes, but I'd still rather watch him the rest of the season. But now that he's injured, I think I'd have to take it because I don't know how severe the injury is. But it's a good hypothetical. I don't think it's even on the table, though, because he is injured currently. From F. Mars, should the Bears tank after a 1-5 start? Oh, man, it's tough to be back here again, isn't it, fellas? But when you consider the Bears control their own destiny to the top 2 picks in the NFL draft, if you will, I understand the question. I understand the thought behind it. And look, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Patriots, I think even teams like the Vikings, Titans, and Packers, depending on how things go, they could all be interested in tanking potentially. So, yeah, I do understand it, and I'm curious what you guys think. Should the Bears tank again? And now that Fields is hurt, I do understand the thought process behind it. Type T for tank or D for don't. Now, the good news is they probably are going to lose a bunch anyway. So you don't even necessarily have to try to tank, but maybe the better question is, are you on team tank or not? T for tank or D for don't? Let me know. Daniel Bolanos, do you think my beloved Pookie Bear Fields is the franchise guy? Do we take that risk if we keep him? Do we go wide receiver and edge for the draft? First of all, first-time super is 5 jumping jacks. If you're new to the program, I might have just done 6. I can't count. I mean, if I had to pick right now, I'd unfortunately have to lean no. But, yeah, if you do keep him, I think wide receiver edge, wide receiver O-line edge. A combination of 2 of those 3 is where I would go high in this draft. Alex Katz, Bagent better bring it. Getsy's system is better suited for him than Fields. Soon, my Bears brother, soon, just not this year. Bear down. I will say this, like, if you just want to force feed that rhythm, get the ball out, robotic offense, that might actually work better for Bagent than it does Fields, which is so frustrating. Like, why would you run that offense with Fields? It makes no sense. But, yeah, Bagent may actually be able to run this particular system a little more effectively, especially for the underneath passing stuff. But, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm fascinated to see how Bagent looks. DC Viper, if the Bears move on from Fields, what team's DC making a trade for him? I think a few that come to mind just off the top of my head. How about the Atlanta Falcons? Desmond Ridder seems to be holding them back right now. That's a playoff caliber roster that's being held back by underperforming QB play. I'll throw a new one in the mix. How about the Tennessee Titans? How about the Titans? Tannehill's clearly done there. This is his last year there. Malik Willis does not look the part, and he's playing over Will Levis, who probably really isn't the guy, at least up to this point. I think Tennessee, with effective QB play, could still be a playoff caliber team. Fields and Derrick Henry could be interesting. DeAndre Hopkins is there, so I'd throw them into the mix. A couple other teams that come to my mind just off the rip here. I throw a team like the Patriots in there, like if they're not high enough in the draft to take a QB in the top 2 or 3 picks. Could they be interested in Fields? Maybe. Those are 3 teams that stand out to me early on. I'm sure there's a few others that would be interested, but those are 3 that come to my mind. Timothy Smith, let's put our GM hat on. Who are we hiring for head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator? I'm hiring Ben Johnson as head coach. Ben Johnson is definitely near the top of my list. Now, with any guy you're hiring that's never been a head coach, there's always a risk. You don't know if he can handle being in charge of the whole thing. Matt Eberflus has proven he cannot. We don't know if Ben Johnson could be a good head coach, but the reality is there's not that many proven head coaches that have won at the highest level just sitting out available. So there's always some level of risk, but he would be up there. And by the way, if I hired him, I would want him to call plays, so I don't really care who the OC is. And then defensive coordinator, I would go based on the personnel I have, especially if I re-sign Jalen Johnson, with a man-based scheme. Because to me, Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson are press man corners. That is their skill set. And they've played a little bit more man recently, and I think it's been more effective. So that would be the type of DC that comes to mind. I'd have to look at some guys out there with that type of schematic, but that is what I would look for if I was the Bears defensively. Now, if you're looking to spice up your game day experience, especially with the Bears struggling this year, look no further than Prize Picks. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, and it is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. How does it work, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go for more or less than their Prize Pick stat projections, you can win up to 25 times your money on any given entry. I got a nice little pick 3 here. Which is 5 times your money, $10 to win 50, 20 to win 100, etc. I'm going to go DJ Moore on his yards. I just think they're going to try and emphasize get him back involved. Najee Harris just isn't very good. So he's already splitting carries with Jaylen Warren a lot of the time. I'm going to go less on his rushing. And then Tua, I think against Philly on the road, that's a tough matchup. That's a high passing yardage total there. I'll go less on his yardage as well. 10 to win 50. Get started with Prize Picks right now. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. And the best part about Prize Picks is that you're not playing against pros. You're not playing against sharks. It's just you versus the stat projections. Go ahead and get started today. Our boy Sealand. What's up, Sealand? Drafted quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round. Take Fields 5th-year option. Just an idea. Build up the trenches. I don't hate this idea. It's kind of like the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts scenario, right? Like where they still believe in you, but they want to turn up the heat a little bit, right? And that worked out for Philly. It didn't work out for Wentz specifically, but you could, if a Michael Penix is sitting there in the 2nd round, if a Quinn Ewers is sitting there, if a J.J. McCarthy, a Bo Nix in the 2nd or 3rd round, if you still want to evaluate Fields, you could go that route. You could load up in the 1st round with 2 blue chip non-QB prospects. I don't think they would go that route. I don't hate the idea. But because guess what? If that second or third round guy you take isn't that good, doesn't mean you can't draft the QB the next year in the first round. Like, no harm, no foul. It's, you should be drafting QBs all the time anyway, at least on day 3. Mike Nintendo Master, who will be the next Bears quarterback, Caleb Williams or Drake Maye or Michael Penix Jr.? I doubt Penix is in the conversation to be your week 1 starter next year. He could be in that combo of, we're going to keep Fields, but if a guy like Penix falls to day 2, let's draft him and turn up the heat on Fields a little bit. But I still think Penix probably goes round 1. It'll depend on his medical evals. But, yeah, Caleb versus Drake will be interesting. I think Williams still has the edge. How do they feel about Fields at the end of the season? That's still in the conversation. But I think it's between Fields, Williams, and May. I would put a lot of money that one of those 3 guys will take the opening week snaps next year. Carlos Ayala, do you see a reality where the Bears trade back and just draft Olu and Marvin Harrison and wait till next year to draft Shador or someone else? It's possible. The only way you would do that, though, is because here's the risk. Like, to me, like, you can't bank on a 3rd straight year picking very high. Like, sure, you would have extra capital. You could trade up, all that stuff. But, like, if the team picking number 1, like Shador Sanders, they're going to draft him. Like, they're not going to trade down with you. So if you don't think Fields is the guy, if you come to that conclusion after this year, if you're the Bears, then you're going to draft a quarterback. That's just what's going to happen. So that's my takeaway on that. Now, if the Bears make a trade, we're going to go live here on the channel. NFL trade deadline just a couple of weeks away on Halloween. So subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss out when it comes to the latest Bears news. Paul Jackson, if we win all games while Fields is out, do you put him back into the starting lineup? Man, I guess it depends how Bagent's playing. That would surprise me if that happened, but let's say Fields is out 3 weeks and Bagent plays well and goes 3-0. Probably keep playing Bagent in that scenario. I mean, you'd be 4-5 at that point. That would shock me, but it's the NFL. Crazier things have happened. Marcus, thank God for the Panthers. If we spend our 2 first-round picks on Caleb and Fashanu, what do you do about the D-line? Well, I will say this. It's a pretty good edge free agent class. I saw a list recently, and I was like, okay, like a lot of those guys will probably get extended, but if a few of them hit the market, like example, Washington has Montez Sweat and Chase Young set to hit the market. Yeah, they could pay one and tag the other, but I would say a decent chance one of those guys is available. So I would pay one of those edge guys in free agency. You've got $100 million to spend. Give somebody $20 million a year, and then draft some guys on day 2 as well. Scott Waj, Bears trade number 1 pick to Arizona for both their ones in this draft. I've seen that thrown out there, like trade down from 1 to like 3 and 8, whatever it ends up being with the Cardinals, because what do they have? The Texans' first-round pick as well. Although Houston's pick may not be inside the top 10. I mean, they're 3-3 right now. They're going to push in that AFC South, I think. So if that pick is higher, then I would want additional capital as well. Let's just say it's like 3-15. 1 for 3-15 in this draft, I don't think is enough. I'd probably ask for a day 2 pick also. Do you want to keep Ryan Poles? I think all the focus is on Matt Eberflus, Luke Getsy, Justin Fields. What about Poles, though? I don't think he's innocent in all this with the being behind schedule, if you will, in terms of wins and losses and roster construction. I think if I had to guess, he'll survive. Should he? I think it's a fair question. K for keep or F for fire. Dennis Wheeler, I can't blame Justin Fields or anything that happened yesterday. The coaching staff is horrible. I don't think he's blameless, Dennis. I think there were a few times he held the ball too long, even if the scheme sucked. But it was a really bad game plan. Like, seriously, like, it was bad. You know what's so weird? The only game the Bears have won this year was in a week where they basically had no time to prepare. Short week, Thursday night football, no practice, just walkthroughs. You get 10 days to prepare against a team without Justin Jefferson and a bad defense, and a defense you know is going to blitz a ton, and you got no answers. It's mind-boggling to me when you really break it down. Matthias Nagy, is Matt Eberflus the worst head coach in the history of the franchise? You know what, Matt Nagy? You are better than Matt Eberflus. Congratulations. At least you won Coach of the Year, even though you're riding the tales of Vic Fangio in 2018. But yeah, you can't say that Flus is better than Nagy. That would just be a lie. So congratulations. Now, I do think it's funny that statistically the Chiefs' offense is having the worst year ever with Patrick Mahomes. Now that Nagy's the OC, but that's a different conversation, Coach. You know, we'll leave that for a different day. But yes, congratulations. You were not worse than Matt Eberflus. We'll be sure to send you a trophy. All right, if you have any more questions, Instagram, Twitter, at HGramNFL, X, whatever we're calling it these days, at HGramNFL. Hit a brother up. I will get you answers. Go ahead and slide into the DMs. All right. Do you want to keep Ryan Poles? Keep K for keep, F for fire. What are people saying? I'm going to put this up as a poll, actually. I'm curious. What should the Bears do with Ryan Poles? Keep. Fire. Let me know. I'll get some shout-outs going. Cyrus says keep. Sean says fire. Marcus, Michael, Ogden saying keep. C-Dub saying keep. Ron says fire. Because here's the tricky reality. I think a lot of people would say Flus and the coaching staff have been the biggest problem, especially this year. And I wouldn't argue that. Who chose Matt Eberflus, though? Ryan Poles. Who signed the players for this team? Ryan Poles. Now, Eberflus is involved in that process. Poles flat out said that. Flus does a lot of scouting in the offseason and helps them in that area. But I don't think you could just dismiss that. Like, Poles' first decision as this team's GM was to hire Matt Eberflus, who looks clueless, as this team's GM. I think it's a legitimate thing to ask. Legitimate thing. Is this game getting a little tight, Rolly? That bases loaded jam. I mean,
you just simply have to come away with a run there.
I mean, you got to at least lift a ball to the outfield and get one across.
3 people. Dude, if you hit into a double play off the first batter, you're getting a run.
Yeah. You can't have the first 2 guys strike out. That's for sure. Okay. Gavin says, what's up, Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins? I mean, Kirk Cousins might give you a better chance to win right now, but I don't like. We've seen Kirk Cousins. We know his ceiling. Like,
it would all be
his ceiling is you can make the playoffs, mate, with him some years, right? Like, you're never even getting to a conference title with him.
I mean, depends on the situation.
It's not like he's played for bad teams in Minnesota.
No, I know, but like, say
it would have look if you put him with the Niners.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I mean.
But like
even with the Eagles, I think he could.
I said this last year. Like, I think Fields with the Niners would have made the playoffs at least. I honestly believe that. That Niners thing. Now, look, Brock Purdy deserves a ton of credit, but that thing with how much talent they have, dude. And by the way, if you're the Niners and you get Kirk Cousins, which premium players are you losing? You're losing a couple of them.
I've said this right now. I've said this on record, and I actually still stand by it. If Kyle Shanahan and the Niners took Mac Jones like they actually truly wanted to when they made the trade up, they have a Super Bowl.
I think if they took Jones or Fields, they'd probably have a Super Bowl. I mean, Fields ran for 1,200 yards last year with nothing around him.
I mean, if there's any quarterback that hasn't been good that I know can perform in a Shanahan offense, it's Mac Jones.
Yeah, I do think his skill set would work in that offense pretty well.
I mean, that is everything that he wants is Mac. Because RPOs.
I do think Purdy's better than Jones, though, now that we've seen Purdy for an extended time.
No.
Yes.
You tell me.
Dude, he layers the football pretty nicely.
If Brock Purdy had to deal with.
Oh, I'm not. Situation is a lot of this stuff.
I can't really say, like, I really do believe.
So you think Mac.
I actually do believe Mac Jones is a better quarterback than.
You think Mac enters when Purdy does last year, his first loss would have been yesterday, or he still wouldn't have lost a game. It's pretty amazing when you think,
Dude, he has a top 5 tight end, a top 5 wide receiver duo, the best running back in football,
dude,
a top 5 O-line.
You don't have to tell
with an
me.
elite defense. Like, I'm telling you,
Garoppolo
man.
had all that too, though, is what I'm saying.
Well, Garoppolo stinks. He also had an unbelievable win percentage,
but
though,
like,
in San Fran.
Yeah, but like, I'm saying Purdy wasn't just a slight upgrade from Jimmy G. Like,
I don't know.
Dude.
I think it's like a, what do you consider slight?
I mean,
20%?
That's more than slight.
I'm giving it a 10% upgrade.
Oh, come on. I'm not even a huge Purdy guy, but he's been a clear upgrade. He's a much more accurate
He's had a couple
passer.
nice throws here and there, but the majority of them, it's dinking dunking.
I will say this about Purdy. He is the luckiest quarterback when it comes to balls not getting intercepted.
I just don't think freaking Brock Purdy is that good. Like, if you told Brock Purdy to go
Top 15, yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, we're having fun here. 15 quarterbacks you would take over Purdy right now without.
Let me.
Timothy says Bajent is Purdy with tats. We'll see.
Let me pull up NFL quarterbacks. So
I'm not even a Purdy truther. I'm just saying, like, he's been good. Now, he sucked yesterday.
As long as if I can see all the quarterbacks and I'm not accidentally neglecting someone.
All right, Fields or Purdy. Let's start
Fields
there.
is a better quarterback.
I'm actually kind of surprised to hear you say that.
And I kind of think Fields stinks.
Oh, I know you're not a Fields guy.
All right.
So you think Purdy stinks then?
Let's just go through it.
He doesn't stink, bro.
Now,
is he an MVP candidate like all these people are saying? No.
I'll leave the Fields. That one will be in question.
Let's leave Fields and Mac out of it.
Okay.
Let's take our own, because this is going to be a fun exercise. I promise we're going to get back, because I want you guys to chime in as well. No Fields or Mac talk when it comes to Brock Purdy. I'm honestly fascinated as we go through this. Let's just go team by team.
All right.
Go through all the teams.
Lamar Jackson. Yes.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
Yes.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Not with that contract. Nope.
Who's the better quarterback?
Dude, right now, I can't say Watson. Since he's been back, he's legitimately not been good. He had a decent start his last game out.
I'm taking Deshaun Watson.
With that contract, you would take him.
Yes.
So you're losing
if I'm starting
a combination
of
Fred. No. Well, okay.
Are we saying on the 49ers? Or are we saying just if in a void of
Brock Purdy $700,000 or Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed?
Brock Purdy wouldn't do shit outside of
San
Francisco. I'm taking Deshaun Watson.
I'm not.
I'll take Purdy over Russ because Russ stinks.
Oh, Russ is horrible.
So
we'll say you're at 4, I'm at 3. Okay, keep going. Watson or Purdy, you guys let me know. W for Watson, P for Purdy.
I'm taking C.J. Stroud.
I probably am too.
I'm taking Stroud, that's 5. I'm probably taking Purdy over Richardson.
Yeah. Richardson's been hurt 3 times in 5 career games.
Yeah.
You're taking Purdy.
Trevor Lawrence 6 for me at least.
So I'm at 5.
Mahomes 7.
Yep, 6 for me.
I'll take Purdy. I'm taking Purdy over Jimmy G.
Oh, no doubt.
So
we've seen that play out.
I'm still at 7.
I'm still at 6.
Taking Herbert 8. Tua 9.
Herbert and Tua. Yeah.
If Rodgers is healthy, 10. If we're counting.
I don't know. He's 40, man. You're
taking
starting
Rodgers.
A franchise. That's what you said it was.
Give me the 2.5 seasons of Aaron Rodgers.
No. Rodgers last year as a starter, he was average. I'd actually take Purdy, I think.
All right.
Considering the contract and how young he is.
I'm at 10, you're at 8.
Okay.
Pickett and Tannehill stink.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder stinks.
Yep.
Kyler Murray, that's 11.
With the contract, dude, and coming off ACL?
Yeah, I'm still
Really?
doing it. Yeah, I'm still doing it.
All right, Kyler or you guys answer this one. Kyler or Purdy, factoring in the contract and coming off the injury, who you starting a franchise with? Oh! From Michael Horowitz. Says, I've worked inside the organization. Nothing should make You think anything will improve failure at all levels? Boom! Get the booms in the chat. They're taking Purdy over Kyler, by the way. I'm leaning Purdy. So you're at 11. I'm at 8
I'm
still?
still taking Kyler Murray.
All right, you're at 11. I'm at 8.
I'm taking
Michael, you get a sticker, by the way.
I know he's been bad, but if I'm starting a franchise, I'm absolutely still taking Bryce Young.
Here's why I have to think about that. And I'm not even saying this because he's been bad to start his career. I'm saying it because he's 5'9", $180. And I think he could get killed in the NFL.
I mean, he's already taken an absolute beating.
Dude, and he's barely getting through these games. He's already missed a game.
Well, I mean,
Purdy had a bad injury last year. So,
I'm at 12.
Fine, I'll give you that one. I'll go Bryce Young. He was the number 1 overall pick.
Dak is 13.
Yeah. Although, I honestly have to think about it.
No.
And I've defended Dak.
No.
When you factor in contract and age, it's a discussion.
Stop it.
Right, I'll give you that one, too.
Jared Goff is 14.
So you're at 13. I'm at 10.
Yeah, Jared Goff makes it 14 for me. Say what you want about Goff. He's playing some really
right now. I may have to take Goff.
Going Goff.
Goff
14.
with Shanahan that'd be nasty.
Jordan Love stinks.
All right, so you're at 14 and I'm at 11. Yeah. Okay.
I'm absolutely taking Matthew Stafford still.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Dude, stop. He's cooked.
Stafford's cooking.
He's been all right this year.
The roster stinks.
Dude, he's in his mid-30s. His contract is brutal. Stafford or Purdy? Let me know in the chat.
Give me Stafford.
I like Stafford, but he's 35 and he had an elbow problem.
Stafford's
last year.
15.
I'm going to hold off on that one. I'm staying at 12.
I'm taking Kirk. That's 16.
You're taking Cousins?
Yeah, I am. Dude, I'm telling you.
If he's making $40 million a year.
If Brock Purdy.
At 36 years old, you're taking Cousins.
If Brock Purdy was a drop-back passer without a top 5 O-line, a top 5 wide receiver duo, and Christian, the best running back, I'm telling you right now, he would stink. He would be horrible if he had to
I'll give you Cousins.
back and
I'll give you Cousins. So you're at 16. I'm at 13.
Yeah. I'll take Purdy over Carr.
Yeah, Carr's he's horrible.
I'm taking him over Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah, same. Especially with contract.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts, so that's now
17. Even though 17, 14. Okay.
I'm probably taking Geno Smith.
Dude, he's had one good year in the NFL. He's
probably
33 and he's had one good. Stop. $35 million a year at 33 when he's had one.
35's good nowadays.
Geno has had 8 bad seasons in this league.
Listen,
either bad or being a backup.
I'm a Geno hater, but I'm probably taking
Dude,
Geno.
no, you're not. You're trying to push your narrative right now.
I'm already past my narrative.
I know, but you're not. You would not take Geno.
I think I would.
You think Geno, if you switch those two teams, Geno would be better in San Fran right tomorrow?
Yes. The 49ers would be more dynamic through the passing game.
I think it'd be more dynamic, but would it be as consistent?
And the Seahawks would be less dynamic.
Would it be as consistent, though?
Probably not as consistent.
That one's a little tougher for me. I'm not going that far. So you're at 18. You're at 18. I'm at 14.
And then the last two teams we have to look at.
Well, we're not doing Bears and Patriots.
Baker and Sam Howell. I won't go that far.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is I don't think Brock Purdy could do what Sam Howell's been doing on Washington.
Oh, I already gave you a sticker, Michael. I'll put it.
Michael asked though, how many stickers I got?
You've got 1.
I tell you what, you've been an absolute legend.
It's gonna take a while. Let's see. You got 2 white ones, and then you've got. My handwriting is horrible. 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm seeing you for 6 or 7, Michael. You got a bunch. You're up there. You, Kerry Huss, Brian. Y'all got a bunch. I got a lot of haters in the chat. So he's top 20 for you and right at 15 for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
He stinks. I'm telling you right now.
But my point is, for $800,000 a year, and he's a top 20 quarterback.
I get the money aspect of it, but
would I give him $40 million a year? No.
The way I watch Brock Purdy play football, man, I'm telling you, if he just had to drop back and try to win a game without, I'll say it one more time, a top 5 wide receiver duo, a top 5 offensive line, a top 5 tight end, the best running back in football, and a top 3 at worst offensive head coach.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he has
the greatest situation for a
in history.
First 3-rounded draft QB of all time. There's no doubt about it.
And listen, he's taken his opportunity and ran with it. Good for him.
Yeah.
But if you switch him,
fast forward 2 years, the Niners, that's going to be an interesting thing.
If you put him, if you looked across the league and said the most average offensive situation, and you put Brock Purdy on that team.
If you put him in Chicago, he'd stink.
He would
I'm
stink
pretty comfortable
on
saying that.
70% of teams in the NFL. I think he would stink on the Chiefs.
With Nagy?
I think, I'm not
receivers?
kidding, I think the Chiefs' offense would be horrific with Brock Purdy.
It'd be worse. There's no doubt about that.
Because all they got out there is
Do you
really
think the Niners
Travis
end up
Kelce.
paying him?
Not more than $15 million a year.
Oh, yes, they will.
And if they do that,
if I were them, I'd probably just tag him 1 year maybe and let him walk, or trade him.
Guy isn't.
For some team will pay him, I bet.
Ron Winarski with a
sign Tom Brady. No thanks. Tom Brady or Purdy right now. Right now.
Why would you ask the answer? You don't want to hear the answer. You asked a question you don't want to hear the answer.
Here's the thing. Purdy was better than Brady last year.
Better situation.
True. Those receivers are all right in Tampa, though. Marcus, Caleb Getsy duo be better than Fields Getsy. I don't know. You're basically asking if Caleb or Fields is better right now. I don't know. I mean, I think he's a higher graded prospect, but it's hard to know.
See you, though, Tuve.
It's hard to know. All right, let's get into our final segment here. That was fun. That was a good time. Good exercise. I'll say this. The Brock Purdy should win MVP talk is ridiculous. Like,
he's not good.
I think he's good, but he should not win MVP. That would be insane. All right, here we go. Let's get into our final segment here on Chicago Bears Now. All right, Bears fans, I want to hear from you. If you think Matt Eberflus should be fired, like this video. If we don't get 2,000 likes on today's show, then there's a lot of Matt Eberflus's family watching this show that I was not aware about. And to the Flus family, I apologize. But like this video if you are in the camp that Matt Eberflus should be fired as head coach of the Bears, because I'm about to go on a rant for why he is simply not head coach material right now. Chicago Bears Now is sponsored by RexMD, the online leaders in men's telehealth. Go check them out, rexmd.com/chat to get a major discount. That link is in the comments and in the description. It's rexmd.com/chat. Matt Eberflus is a joke. I mean, that's really the simplest way I can put it. He does not have what it takes to be a head coach in this league. He's not the first one. He's not going to be the last of jumping from coordinator to head coach and it not working out. He's a joke, and there's a lot of reasons why. And let me get first past this. I'm not even really talking about X's and O's in this video, but if we want to go there, we can do that. How before the last couple of weeks, they've mostly run heavy zone packages, even though you have press man corners, and I get it's your philosophy, but like, why is it taking so long to adjust? But I'm mostly leaving X's and O's out of it in today's show, and another just Flus talk situation, I call it Flus talk, has popped up once again. After the Bears loss to the Vikings on Sunday, he was asked about the center situation. Cody Whitehair gets taken out of the game for Lucas Patrick, and anyone with the brain would have been like, yeah, he needed to be benched because his snaps were all over the place. Well, hey, coach, why did you change centers one drive into Tyson Bagent getting into the game? Well, Flus said, we thought it was best for our team to have the guy that had more experience in there playing center. More experience in there playing center. I don't think that's right. You know, Whitehair's played a decent amount of center in his career. Patrick's been a backup at times, a starter. He's been a guard at times. But, okay, let's just go look. Let's see who's played more at center. Cody Whitehair has played more than triple the amount of snaps at center than Lucas Patrick in his career. These were the snap totals going into that game because that was his explanation. Hey, let's put the guy who has more experience in there. Well, you didn't do that. You took the guy out that had more experience for Lucas Patrick. And here's why, which, by the way, you didn't make a mistake taking Cody Whitehair out of the game. Because Cody Whitehair got benched because he can't snap the football. At least he couldn't on Sunday. He's snapping it up here. He's rolling it to Justin Fields. He's getting the quarterback killed. He's throwing plays off every other play. There was a sequence where 4 snaps in a row were way off target. You took him out because he couldn't snap. Hey, Flus, this is all you have to say. Yeah, you know what? It was a tough day for Cody. It's been a problem with him snapping the football. Lucas Patrick's had a problem with that at times as well, but we had to make a change, especially with the backup quarterback, because the snaps were too big of a problem. It's that easy. It is not that hard. Stop insulting your fan base. You do it all the time. We are smarter than you think. If you put someone in that stadium that had never watched football before and they got into that game, they would look at their friend that brought them to the game and say, hey, why is the ball all over the place to start the play? Because it's not supposed to look that way. Yes, every once in a while, a center is going to have a bad snap. Cody Whitehair had double-digit bad snaps. No excuse for it from Whitehair. But just be honest with us. Yeah, Cody wasn't getting it done, man. He threw too many plays off with the bad snaps, especially once our starting quarterback got hurt. We needed someone else in there. We had to try and get that more consistent, which, by the way, it wasn't much better. Lucas Patrick can't snap either, but at least you tried something different. But instead, you went up there and said, we needed a more experienced center in there. You didn't put a more experienced center in there. You put at least experienced center in there. And if you want to say more experience lately, that's not even really true either. Cody Whitehair finished last week at center, started this game at center, spent all offseason as the guy who was supposed to be the starting center. Lucas Patrick was hurt all of last year and didn't play center. So what in the fuck are we talking about? Stop insulting us. It's disrespectful. It's unnecessary more than anything else. It's absolutely maddening, and it's not the first time he's done it. And if you had to guess, it will not be the last because he's done it for 2 freaking years. All right, before we continue with this rant on Matt Eberflus, Men's Telehealth, RexMD, today's sponsor. Fellas, do you lack confidence in the bedroom sometimes? Do you wish you could have a more fulfilling sex life? You're not alone. That's why we're excited to tell you about RexMD, the online source for men's wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get the medication you need for ED without having to visit a doctor's office. With just a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door and at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made in the United States. So yes, you can trust the quality. Plus, their customer support team is awesome, available 24/7 for any questions you may have. Take control of your sex life. Say goodbye to ED and head on over to rexmd.com/chat. Start your consultation today. Take advantage of their best deal ever, guys. Up to 95% off RexMD. Plus, you'll get a free gift with our exclusive link as well, rexmd.com/chat. rexmd.com/chat. Generic Cialis and Viagra up to 95% off, plus a free gift. Go check them out. It's rexmd.com/chat. And again, this is not the first time we've seen this, and these aren't the only examples either. We talked about the Chase Claypool debacle a few weeks ago. Yeah, we gave him the choice to come to the game. He decided not to. 20 minutes later, PR person comes in there. No, he was told to stay home. So the coach either lied to the media or is out of the loop. Why do you need to lie? Hey, he's not meeting expectations. He's inactive. We asked him to stay home. Pretty simple explanation. He's incapable of doing it. The center switch, which we just broke down. Listen, man, you benched a guy who wasn't getting it done. Cody Whitehair's a big boy. He can handle it. You don't need to cover for him. He's making $10 million a year. He's been in the NFL for a decade. He's been a team captain here. It's okay. And then just the refusal to discuss injuries. We saw it again today with the Justin Fields stuff. He literally, he's doubtful this week. That's all we can tell you right now. Has the MRI happened? Yeah, but we don't have results. I guess maybe that's true, but they don't have the results of an MRI by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the day after the game. I got to believe the MRI happened first thing this morning. It doesn't take 5-6 hours to get him in. It's just like, it's not high school. You don't have to hide injuries. You're a 1-5 football team. You don't need a competitive advantage. I think most of us realize, and by the way, when you say Fields is doubtful, you're basically saying he's not playing this week. Yeah, Tyson Bagent's going to start. You don't need a competitive advantage, disadvantage thing, man. It's not high school. Just talk. We're adults here. It's okay. I don't think the Las Vegas Raiders chances go up or down in terms of winning if you talk about Fields' injury or not. You're not holding state secrets here, man. Like, this is basic stuff. Hey, Claypool's not getting it done. We asked him to stay at home. We'll discuss further with him what his future looks like here. Boom, done. Hey, Cody Whitehair was struggling. We thought making a change at center with the backup quarterback made sense. Boom, done. Instead, Claypool, he decided not to come. Oh, PR guy's got to save me. Lucas Patrick's more experienced. Oh, wait, that's not actually true. And by the way, he basically doubled down on it this morning. Like, what are we talking about, man? Like, and the reason I bring all this up, first of all, chime in here, please. Is anybody else sick of the Flus talk, as I call it? Type me if you are in the comments. The reason I bring this stuff up, guys, is not because any of these isolated situations are a big deal. They're not. In and of itself, it's not a big deal. I can think it's stupid, but it's not a big deal. But, like, to me, it just shows, like, you're not capable of being a face, a voice. Like, you're just not. You're not. Look at your undrafted rookie free agent quarterback talking to the media basically for the first time ever. I know he talked some of the preseason, but he took the podium after the game. He was asked what happened on that interception late, which that's a tough moment for him, right? He could have said a million different things. Pretty straightforward answer, right? Yeah, I underthrew it there a little bit. That's on me. Something I have to fix moving forward. Reporter follow-up. Is that a result of the pressure? Bagent says, nope, that's just the result of me underthrowing the ball. Got to give my guy a chance. Your rookie undrafted quarterback who's never been in the spotlight in his entire life just stands up there and answers honestly. Like, why can't you do the same? You're not throwing Cody Whitehair under the bus. Everybody on the planet saw he was playing poorly and couldn't snap the football. I think Cody Whitehair would go up there and be like, yeah, man, it was a bad performance. I was snapping the ball all over the place. I'm still getting used to being back at center. I got to be better. I think he would have said that. The head coach can't do that? Come on, man. Your rookie undrafted guy who played at freaking Shepherd College gets this better than you. He just does not check the boxes of being a head coach, which you got to be a face and a voice of a franchise. Rolly, our producer here, he said it a month ago. When you look at Flus, does he look like a head coach? Sometimes it's trust the eyes. He doesn't. When he talks, he doesn't sound like a head coach. It's just like, I'm not even talking about X's and O's here, which have not been good, by the way, in 2 years. We'll outline that in a second a little bit, but it's just like, come on, dude. Don't disrespect us like that. Be honest. Be straight up. I get it. Every once in a while, you do have to kind of, there are times with the media where lying makes sense to protect a player or to do this or to do that. This is basic shit, man. You're 1-5. Just be honest. Like, it's not that difficult. It's not, you're not breaking some rule within the NFL coaching circle that you can't be honest. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Subscribe to the channel. If the Bears fire Flus, which I don't think it'll happen in season, but if and when it does happen, which I do think it will happen if he continues to lose, we'll be going live just like we were less than 2 years ago when Matt Nagy got fired, and we'll be starting all over yet again. Hit that sub button. We got you covered anytime news, rumors, trade buzz, anything else drops. When Flus gets fired, it's going to be a hectic show, I can tell you that. Okay, you look at the Matt Eberflus tenure. Let's get to actual on-the-field stuff. You're 4-19. Worst winning percentage in Bears history. You've won 17.3% of your games. That's pretty good. You're 0-8 in the NFC North. You have not won a division game yet. You've lost 15 out of 16 games. You have not won a home game in your last 10 tries over a calendar year, by the way, and 0 2+ game win streak. So what does that mean? You can't sustain any even slight bit of momentum. You beat the Commanders on Thursday Night Football, have 10 days to prepare for a division rival at home without their best player, and you get punked, basically. Like, you're not a good coach, man. You're not good off the field. You're not good on the field. You're not good. Like, that is the bottom line. Think about this. Your last home win was week 3 of last year against the Texans in a game you probably should have lost. Remember that game? It was ugly. Fields was terrible. The team was terrible. You barely won against a bad Texans team. The only other home win you've won in your tenure was week 1 in a swamp against San Francisco last year, which was a total fluke and Trey Lance's basically only start that was meaningful in his NFL career. Like, you're terrible. You're terrible. And then I know people are going to, in the comments, well, Harrison, the defense looks better. He's got the defense playing better. Yes, the defense has played a little bit better the last 2 weeks. Couple things. One, I never said he can't go be a defensive coordinator somewhere. He was a good defensive coordinator in Indianapolis. He can run a defense. I'm not saying that. Now, has he run a good defense here for the most part? No. He brought Allen Williams, who was terrible in Minnesota. He was bad here. He goes away. Yes, it's looked a little bit better under Matt Eberflus. But guess what? The 2 games we're talking about was arguably against the worst offensive line in football in Washington, and 2 against Minnesota without Justin Jefferson. Let's not act like the defense is balling out all of a sudden. Like, he can't be a head coach. The proof is in the pudding. It is obvious. I don't dislike the guy. I think he's a nice guy. I think he means well. But he's pissing me the hell off with how he's talking publicly. He's not getting it done on the field. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Matt Eberflus cannot be this team's head coach beyond this season. So who do you want as the next Bears head coach? Let me know down in the comment section right now. Who do you want as the next Bears head coach? Not Matt Eberflus. That's all I know. Not Matt Eberflus. Appreciate everybody who made it to the end of the video. If you did, that makes you a real one. Give me a follow on Twitter if you did, at HGrahamNFL. DM's always open if you want to talk more ball. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you soon. All right. All right.
Dude, did you just see that tank job Yordan Alvarez had?
Second take of the game. Is it tied or a one-run game?
Down 1. He is so good.
If the Astros lose this game, they had opportunities. But it would be equally bad for the Rangers because weren't they up 5-0 or was it 4-0? 4-0 and 5-1. Sometimes you got to rant, man.
It was a good rant.
Sometimes you got to rant. Like, Rolly, you're not a full outsider at this point. You're with me with all these shows, all these games. Like, am I off base here? Like, this is basic shit. Like, hey, Cody wasn't playing well. We changed centers. Why is that so hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that difficult?
Peloton saying fire Flus, hire Bill Belichick. I promise you, you do not want that.
No. I might rather keep Flus than that saying something. Belichick's cooked, man.
All right.
Flus beat Belichick last year.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I'm kidding. I'd rather have Belichick. But
if you brought in Belichick and said you're only the coach, no GM.
Yeah. I still wouldn't do it.
I still believe Belichick's a top 10 coach in the NFL.
Do you actually?
I know I do.
Top 10.
I do.
Are we going to have this exercise again?
I'm being dead serious, Harry. It's just that
Mike McDaniel, Bill Belichick right now, who you taking?
Mike McDaniel, Bill Belichick?
You're taking McDaniel.
Am I trying to win a Super Bowl?
You're trying to win as much as possible.
Like one game.
Just who do you want as your head coach, McDaniel or Belichick, right now? I think we know who you're taking.
You're right.
You're taking McDaniel. It's more than 10. I hear your point, though. Like, with the new team, if he had no say with the offense and is not in charge of player personnel, I think he could still be somewhat effective.
If he had no control at all and he just didn't hire his friends anymore and you had a GM
and he basically just ran the defense, then sure.
He was the head coach / overseer of the defense.
Yes.
He's still top 10 at that. I just think he is.
I don't know if he's top 10, but he's not as bad as he's been the last
He's
few
horrible
years.
at scouting offensive talent.
How do we think he is at in-game stuff at this point?
Oh, he's really good.
Okay.
I still think he's good at this stuff. Like the problem is that he does not have, in the new day and age where offenses are much different than what they were 10, 15 years ago, he cannot adjust.
I'm kind of surprised the Rangers went Chapman again today.
I mean,
you got to go with your guys, but like
Bregman, Tucker, Alvarez, 2 lefties.
How many batters was he in for?
Just 3.
Oh, so he got 2 outs? Okay, I mean,
I mean,
That's not a terrible job.
Jordan's just the best hitter in baseball.
He's unbelievable.
And I mean that, too. Like, we want to switch to baseball.
DeBone is back calling me fat. Hey, Lan, I told you yesterday I am currently overweight. Appreciate that observation.
Jordan Alvarez is a fake player.
Appreciate that observation, DeBone. 3-1 here. You want to stay live through this inning? See what happens here? Little playoff watch party talk here.
He's going to throw a fastball.
That's
he
down.
Wants a slider.
All right.
Mistake.
So, for those interested, Rangers 5, Astros 4, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. Former White Sox legend Jose Abreu just walked, and now the go-ahead run is in the box.
And
the pitching coach, Mike Maddox, is talking to Jose Leclerc.
And who's coming up right now?
Oh, that was not off Chapman.
No, that was earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Honestly, not a horrible pitch. I mean, it was kind of out over the.
Still, that's good hitting. To pull that into the seats.
That's what I'm saying. That slider would have been a borderline strike.
I don't have diabetes, DeBone, believe it or not. I know it's shocking for you. You probably want me to block you, but I'm not going to block you, man. We're all good. Guy, Jordan's already got 6 tanks in this playoffs. In 6 games.
It's tied for the most of all time in their first 6 playoff games.
He's unreal, man.
Brantley, by the way, has been an absolute tear today. He has an RBI double and a single. So Brantley's swinging a hot stick.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out much either, so.
This is a tough.
He could definitely tie this. He doesn't hit for power.
Bochy brought in Leclerc to get the 1 out against Abreu. And then now he has to face Brantley. This is a disaster.
Well, and 2, if this pitch count gets up a bit, he pitched yesterday too,
day off, he'll be good to go on Wednesday.
No, I'm more just saying, do you bring him out for the 9th?
Oh.
Because Chapman's already burned. I think it depends. If he doesn't get this out, I bet that someone else starts the 9th.
He has absolutely no feel for his pitch right now.
Yeah.
You can tell. Okay.
If he walks this guy, he's done. They're going to the pen. Right? Can't walk 2 guys and get a 3rd batter. Are you green light here for Brantley 2-0? Nope.
No, he has no feel.
I would take 2 strikes here if I was Brantley. 3-0 count. Oh, you didn't have to delete DeBone.
Oh, he said something very bad.
Oh, really? About me?
No.
Oh, boy. Did he play some BS race BS? Let's not go there, guys. Yeah. That is when we block people, because that is something Rolly and I will never stand for. Never have, never will. Never have, never will. He walked him again.
You're taking here if you're Chaz.
Oh, I'm taking 2 strikes.
Yeah.
I'm forcing him. I can't, dude, they're just going to ride him here?
Well, he's 3-batter rule.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He has no feel.
Dude, he can't throw a strike.
He has no feel. I want a camera on Coop.
Yeah. We have a Super Rangers fan here at Chat Sports, and he is sweating bullets in the other studio. Give me a Coop cam. Should I try and FaceTime him right now?
No.
All right, 1-0 pitch. Leclerc comes set. Fires home.
Oh, why are you swinging?
Why are you swinging at that?
That probably was
that
a strike
probably gets called.
But why are you swinging?
That's bad approach.
That's bad. That's a bad move.
You're not Altuve, bro.
I wouldn't give Altuve the green light.
I hear you, but
he threw 7 straight balls because he walked the first guy too.
Yeah, that wasn't even a fastball either.
Oh, see, and now you just did that.
Oh. Coop is yelling in the other studio.
That's good.
What is McCormick doing?
Bad
he just
baseball.
chased it 2 sliders.
Bad baseball.
That was not a strike either, the second one.
No, bad baseball.
The Astros have left about 10 guys on in this game.
Yeah.
All right. You good here? Shout out to the Super Chats. $300.
Good day.
Let's talk more shit about flus from Eddie. We'll leave it for now. Oh, boy. Eric said I blocked him for you. Rolly had it covered. I didn't see whatever his last comment was, but yeah, let's keep it classy in here. We can disagree. Me and Larry disagree all the time, but I'm not gonna say something that's completely out of line. I'm definitely not gonna throw a racist comment in there. I can promise you that. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Rolly for hanging out, producing as always. We'll be back with more coverage tomorrow. Bear down.